Hey, John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I've got another interview here with Arne Mertz, or am I saying it?
Arne Mertz, yeah. But Arne
Arne,
Mertz
okay,
is
Arne.
okay. It's okay.
Okay, Arne. Anyway, Arne has been sending me some emails and I've been watching his progress as he's grown his blog, very specialized in C++ theme, and it's been amazing to see the growth of Arne's blog over time. And so I thought I would share that with you guys out there and just share his perspective because I think hearing someone who's done it, especially in this time frame, I think. If I remember correctly, it's been almost about a year. Has it been?
Yes, a year and 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, and we'll get into your stats in a little bit here, but before I do, just want to thank you for taking the time to share your experience and welcome you.
Thanks for having me.
So, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, kind of your background, where you're from, what you do, and then we'll discuss kind of what you've been able to do with your blog.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm from Germany. My parents both were mathematicians and focused on IT, so I kind of have that background in the family. And I started real early with programming. I think at the age of 10 or 12 with Pascal, and later I during my studies I learned C++. I studied physics, and well, after I got my diploma, I was kind of thinking not to do more physics because I kind of liked programming. So I tried to get a job in IT and got lucky to get one without any references, and started doing more C++ on the job, and all kind of was fun for me. I read many books about C++ and clean code, and after a while I got the idea to write a blog about those two themes together.
Yeah. Okay. And your blog is called Simplify C++, correct?
Yes.
And so this was about a year ago that you started, and now how many visitors? You're telling me you're getting how many visitors a day on your blog?
It's very different. Depends on the blog post. Some get linked on Reddit. I think the record was about 20,000 in one day, but this was a really high, controversial blog post about, I think, clean code versus performance. And but I don't know the average. I think in the 1 year I got about 200,000 visitors.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it. I was looking at your total visitors, and I'm seeing 224,193, yeah. And so yeah, so that's in 1 year of just starting the blogs. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome to see that kind of growth. So what do you think it was like? Where did you start out, and how did you achieve that level of success that quickly? Because a lot of people don't reach that. Like, I mean, maybe you don't know the exact factors, but what were you doing that?
I think the most important factor was that I got in contact with Meeting C++, which is a guy who makes kind of a yearly conference about C++ in Europe, and also helps people organizes for himself user groups in different cities in Germany and Europe. And he has a blog role and a huge Twitter audience. And he shared those first links to my first blog post, and actually is still sharing them every week when I write something about C++. So I think by those referrals, I got lots of traffic to my site.
Okay. And what gave you the idea to reach out to this person?
Actually, I knew him before. We had some loose contact on Twitter and on Facebook. I knew him from C++ forum I was attending, I think in 2008, 2009, more or less. Yeah, I already had that contact and just reached out and told him, hey, I started a blog. Are you interested in sharing it? So he did, and it really took off really good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's great. That's because it's a simple solution to. I think a lot of people don't reach out. Maybe they're afraid, or they think that. I mean, did you think when you reach out to him that he would say it? I mean, did you have apprehension about that he would share it, or were you nervous about that, or did you just think that he would, or?
Not really. I've seen him link to other blogs before, so I thought, why not ask him? And well, he just did link the blogs.
Okay. And how did having the blog benefit you, or how's it benefited you so far? What do you think? I mean, there's a lot of people that still, I think, that programmers think, oh, having a blog isn't really going to help me much in my career.
Actually, I think it's partly, at least, it got me a new job. I switched jobs in October. So, and when I sent my CV, I put in there, I was active at Stack Overflow. I had the blog, and the blog was about one of the first topics they asked me about in the interview. So, yeah, I think it was it made a difference.
What about the writing? Do you feel that, like, writing your thoughts, sharing them with other people, do you feel that it helps you grow professionally? What kind of impression do you get from that?
Yes, I think so. It makes me reflect on my thoughts, and well, I get feedback from other people who say that maybe my view isn't the general view is only because of my experience. Of course, because my background is C++ with enterprise and legacy code, and other people are doing C++ in embedded. So it's a different world for them. So they not always agree with my blog post, but I think it's valuable to have those different opinions about the language, different points of view.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. It's interesting how when you create a blog and then suddenly you know your world expands because you realize all these other people that you wouldn't have connected with that have totally different viewpoints. Yeah. So I guess one thing I'd be curious about is if I'm always trying to encourage everyone out there, developers to take the steps. And I mean, you took steps that really, it sounds like to me, improved your career and really, I mean, this is just the beginning, knowing that you've gotten this much traction so far. So what would you say, to someone who wants to, who's sort of on the fence? They want to start a blog, they want to start improving their career, they want to, get to the next level, but they're not sure. What kind of steps would you encourage them to take to get there?
I don't know. I think one just has to stop hesitating and just start it. So once you have written your first 2 or 3 posts, once you got it rolling, it just continues. There are times after a while where I have to stick to it because I think it was about 4 or 5 months after I started the blog that I started thinking about, I didn't know what to write about anymore because my backlog was empty, and it was a rather hard time to get new ideas what to write about. But my goal was to write actually about 1 post per week, and I try to get insights from colleagues, from even from Stack Overflow questions, what I could write about. And so it was a hard time, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks where I really didn't know what to write about. And after that, it got rolling again.
Yeah. That's I'm glad that you made it through that dip, because that, I mean, a lot of bloggers struggle with that, right? There's always going to be that dry spell, and then if you can push through that, then you'll find, you know, that there's more content on the other side.
Yeah.
What about I was going to ask about the confident, like you know, when I got your email, or well, I've been, you know, as I've been reading your emails, I feel like your confidence has increased. Is that true? Do you feel that way, like your confidence in your ability?
Yes, I think so. In the beginning, I didn't know who would read the blog, what the opinions of people would be, and I got really much positive feedback. So this really gave me the confidence to go on and to keep on blogging. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, I want to make sure that that we give everyone that they check out your blog, especially, you know, C++ is I think for a lot of people it's a difficult topic. I really like the concept of simplifying it that you're doing. So it's for everyone listening or watching, you can go to arne-mertz.de. So that's ARNE-MERTZ.de, and you can get to Arne's blog, which is Simplify C++. Anything else? What's next for you? Like, where do you see going from here now? What's your next goal?
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about submitting talks to one or the other conference. For example, Meeting C++ is in November this year in Berlin again. I was thinking about submitting a talk to that conference, and 3 days ago I got an email on the German version of LinkedIn. It's called Xing. There's someone organizing a conference about clean code here in Germany, and they asked me to submit if I had the time and if I wanted to submit a talk. So that would be the next big step for me, I think.
Great. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, I think you should have an easy time getting accepted to conferences now, having a really a quite popular C++ blog and good one. I've been reading some of your articles and they are very good. Thanks. So one last thing, I should ask this at the beginning, but I just realized I didn't ask what started you, what made you decide to do this, to shift this direction? Because you said how long you had been writing software for I mean, you said since you were 10, I think, is what motivated you to finally like make to do a blog and to get out there in the community?
Well, I think it were about 2 factors. Or 3 factors. I had read a few blog posts from other people about C++, about clean code in early 2014, I think, and had already installed the blogging software on my web space, but didn't start blogging at all. Yeah. And then we had a few C++ topics at work, and some of my colleagues told me, well, could you write that down for us so we don't always have to look them up on the web or ask? And I wrote about 2 or 3 wiki articles in our internal wiki, and at the same time I was reading your book, and then I thought, if I'm writing it down already, why not start a blog?
Okay. And actually, I got to ask you one more question here, and then I guess we should probably wrap it up. Which is, how do you write so well being a non-English speaker? Like, because people, and I'm asking this because I get this question a lot, and I've noticed that your writing is really well written, for someone
Thanks.
who, I mean, for a non-first language English speaker. Obviously, English is not your first language. So what do you do? Do you have an editor? Do you have someone proofread it? Do you just spend a lot of time with the grammar checker? What's your strategy for doing that?
Well, I started writing in English, I think about 2006, 2007, at first on Stack Overflow. And later I had to do my diploma thesis in English. All the books I was reading about programming and about physics as well were all in English. So I kind of got the grammar from there. And well, I write my blog posts. I don't have an editor. I just proofread them once and let the spell checker do the rest.
Okay. So a lot of practice. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Because that's a question I get a lot. Is a lot of people ask, well, should I blog in my native language, and also like how can I improve my writing in English? And my answer is usually if you can get someone to proofread it and then they make the corrections and you make the corrections yourself that they tell you to make, so that you get the exercise in it. But it's practice, right? It's a lot of practice. I'm not fluent in another language, so I can't imagine how difficult it might be to do it. So, all right. Well, again, I want to thank you and let everyone know, about your blog. Again, I guess they could probably Google Simplify C++.
Yes, I can.
And then also, if you want to type in the address, it's arne-mertz.de, and definitely check it out, and leave Arne a comment if you like this stuff. Every blog author always likes to get some stuff. Any last words that you have? Any final advice or?
Yeah. So. Yeah, for all the people out there, if you have something to write about, or if you think you have something you want to write down, just don't write it down for you. Write it down in blog so others can participate in it. I think it's just a good point to start, even if you just starting learning a language or something like that. It's others are in the same position, and you can share your experience, and maybe they contact you and you can learn together. I think it's a great experience to have a blog.
Yeah, totally agree. Awesome. All right, Arne. Well, thanks again for your time, and appreciate you coming on here, especially doing video. I know it's not easy to do, so I appreciate you being brave and doing video here. So, and I'll get this out, and hopefully it'll help some people that are trying to make the decision, and to see your success. It's encouraging, I think, just to see what can happen in just 1 year's time.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thanks.